Hello, my friend Daniel. מה נשמע מותק? How are you?
Good, good. There's a show on Netflix that I watched, and it said my next guest has no need any introduction, but I like to introduce you. I'd like to remind you that you are the person who create a lot of organization in my life through spiritual setters, through regular, and also I always remind my wife. I said, Eliyahu was in my wedding, and when I look at him, he gave me calm, and I felt from him that he's as happy as I am being that moment and that physical space. So I appreciate those two moments, bringing happiness and bringing organization to my life. And I love the study that we're doing together. We should make them more often, because the more I study, which I learned only recently in Rosh Hashanah, I had the privilege to spend with you, that I'm a God believer, but it was not good enough for the best version of myself without studying God. Because the fulfillment of the mitzvah with relationship of God is not only know God, it's also learn God. So looking forward for that.
Yeah.
With this being said,
Thank you.
I'm catching you at the right place, I heard, in the Holy Land. Give us some.
Yes, I'm in the Holy Land. I'm watching actually from the balcony the Sea of Galilee.
Wow.
In the Kinneret, in the city of Tiberia. It's a beautiful country, and I see how people, we talk about this show called Manna From Heaven, and we have to believe that truly the manna that we have, meaning the sustenance, the business, the success, not just finance, not just money, everything that we have, it is a gift from heaven. That's why we're creating this show called Manna From Heaven, to make sure that people understand that a lot of time when you get stuck in business or other area of life, you need to reach out to something beyond the five senses, beyond whatever that you have in life. So what I want you to do as a beginning, if it's okay to ask you to do it, to introduce yourself and basically tell us a little bit about yourself, tell us a little bit about your business. I want people to know more about you, what exactly you're doing, where you come from, just give us 5 minutes about yourself, if you don't mind, please.
My name is Daniel. One of the most important things, I'm friend with Eliyahu. but you're laughing, it's funny, and it's also serious, because I learned from you the value of friendship. And we all strive, at least in this United States of America, to achieve quantity in a financial sense of many numbers. We try to achieve many followers, and many people forget about the quality. And I think there's some saying that quantity leads to quality, which I can agree. If you do a lot of content, eventually you're gonna find what works. But in friendship, and sorry, I distract from answering, but I value our friendship. I'm an immigrant here. I had a quick stop in Israel, but I born in Russia. I born in Soviet Union. I just went for when I get my passport, they're like, what is USSR? So I'm a Soviet Union born. I think it's relevant now because some of areas of the place where I born, they found a way not to like each other for no reason. But politics aside, I've been asked by my father, never speak politics, because it's like religion that many times separate versus spirituality that unified us. And I know you for so long, I think 20 years, and you show me the value of looking for unity versus separation.
Yeah.
So back to myself, I don't know how to speak about myself well, so you may be.
So maybe I should ask you some question. Let's say, when did you start your business? What type of business you are in? I will ask you a few questions in a second, but tell us like about what you're doing for a living, and when did you start, or why did you start specifically with that type of business that you're doing?
I came to the States and I graduated from hospitality. I'm an engineer in hospitality, Bachelor of Science, in a top school called Johnson and Wells. For chef program, they are top in the country, but in hospitality, the top 10, along Cornell, Johnson Wells. So I believe in any career that I touch, and mainly I succeed in sales. I implement this hospitality because I think part of the sales transaction require 50% plus relationship maintenance. What I'm doing currently for a living, I sell high-end real estate in Miami area, mainly 5 million plus. Spend half of my day promoting project that been given to me exclusively by sellers that trusted in my ability to be a promoter, and other half I work with buyers that decided to move their residency, to move the company to Miami. So I define myself as a 5 million plus high-end luxury residential specialist. But it's self-definition, and it's temporary because today I'm 5 million plus. Tomorrow I might push for higher numbers. But I go to details. I don't think it's appropriate like to define the details. In general, I focus on same type of people that having expensive taste for the residential lifestyle, and I'm the middleman. I'm smiling because I know you have a lot to say about those type of people, that they are not so simple, and this is why one of the reasons I'm taking classes with you, to probably find a sense what I'm doing. Because
so when did you?
If I could, I would spend my life only help others. If I could, like sufficient enough. If my father that he's I'm upsetting him always, like to remind that he give me enough, and he's like, you should be thankful that I took you out of place that you have no freedom of choice. So in a good day, I'm like, Father, thank you that you brought me for a place that I can choose my words, choose my career, choose my anything. But then the bad day, I judge him like, where is this passive income that I can help other people? Because everywhere I go, my radar catch pain. I see people in pain everywhere I go, and I want to redirect it. Like I want to see like only beautiful thing. But when I focus on only beautiful thing, I think I'm blind to real nature. Because maybe because I came from Holocaust survivorship, maybe because I was in Israel and I saw struggle of two nations that came from the same father. Maybe because I came to the States without money, and it's a capitalism that value money, and I needed to scramble dollar after dollar to get out of the roommates to place. And you're catching me in a good day that I'm signing a purchase of my own place for the first time.
All right, go for it. I want to ask you a question. So, because the show called Manna From Heaven, I would like to ask you, what was your first moment that you start thinking bigger than yourself? Let's say you wake up in a real estate and you said, I'm no longer dealing with 300,000, I'm going to deal with a million. I'm no longer dealing with million, I'm going to deal with 3. Because we believe that spirituality is somehow develop the person to think different. And as I know you for a long time, you evolve like not a lot of people that I know. You grow up, your graph is keep going up and keep going up. It is such a beautiful way. So I believe that it has to do something with your mindset, the way you set up your mind, the way you set up your consciousness. And I believe that consciousness comes from heaven. It's like manna from heaven. Manna can be also an idea. So if you will remember the first moment when you start thinking way bigger than you were thinking in the beginning of your journey. If you can share this with the audience, because a lot of people will listen to it and it will give them hope and motivation, what to do when they begin, how to think out of the box. So maybe you can share that, please.
I wish I have a crystal clear answer, and this is why I'm hesitant to jump on interview like that, because I will not have one answer, and I hope with a good editor you different answer, and you will say, oh, here you were honest, spontaneous, and true to yourself, because it comes in different shape and form. Reading and studying with people like you, I can attribute the whole 100% there. I go for class with you, and we take any holiday that is popular. I don't know which holiday that everybody recognize, but let's say Passover, because the Christian has Passover. So you go for a study and you like make this plate and like all setup of Passover, and we study that. And then I'm like, Eliyahu, what's the relevance for today? I'm just struggling. Like there's expenses coming my way. My wife asking like, we don't have a place to stay, like blah, 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 blah. And you like the relevance for today. It's not like Passover of like million years ago. It's something that like you escaping Egypt today. The Egypt was not over like 3,000 years ago. You just came in the same time through the same circle for the same point of time, and this is your Egypt. And in my one mind is like, okay, so like once I erase the worry about the rent, I'm out of Egypt. And then by being 42, you already, hopefully in 50, I will have better approach to life. I think this Egypt come in different forms. One day is the rental struggle, then it's the mortgage struggle. Then when you raise all this money, you struggle. You're like the grandkids struggle or the kids struggle. I think it's just what I want to pick up is like how to deal with problem in a more stylish, better way. Yeah. And with this being said, I can go reverse and crystallize like where you get this understanding, like probably from studying, and not studying just like studying the history of humanity and read a good book of and just like go for this historical like understanding. It's like I like to study something and to have an author or the lecturer or somebody that exposed this knowledge. What's the relevance for us today? And you knew how to do it.
That's a very good answer, because you are talking about desire. You are actually mentioning desire to know more, to study more, to know more about people. It's all about desire. At least that's what I'm getting from it. So your manna from heaven, the gift that God gave you in a way, spirituality for you, is you are basically give us a message to all of us. If a human being doesn't have a desire, it's not going to work. You need to have something that drive you, because you want to study more, you want to know more about people, you want to make more money, you want to be more successful, more quantity, more quality. So a lot of things, whatever it is, study with me and study with others, reading my books, reading other people's books, it's all about desire. But I will challenge you with a question right now. Where did you get the idea to have a desire? Why you? I meet a lot of people that I don't know how to share it with you, but they kind of not looking for more. They're okay, paying the mortgage, leave me alone. Why you want more? Like, why you wake up in the morning and say, well, I know there is more, and all what I gotta do is to desire more, and then it will be mine. How do you do that? How do you push yourself forward to want more? Because I'm sure you know it. a lot of people around you, they're okay. They don't look for more. They satiate it. They satisfied it. And that's it. They go to sleep. And no big deal. And as I know you personally, but I also know you from talking to you right now, it's reminding me how much you study, how much you're chasing, and making sure that you're going to get more. And I believe personally that the desire of a human being is coming as a gift of the God. God is giving him wanting more. And I look at it as your gift, but try to think about people who are listening to it. And what do we tell them? How they get to be like you, wanting more? Well, what do you need to do? What would be the first step? The tough question. I'm sorry.
It's a tough one. I give you an example. I studied with a guy. I'm going to the ice club, Wim Hof, and my teacher for Wim Hof
Yes.
taught me something that he wrote a book about, but he doesn't publish, integrative living. And he said you have to remember, like, everybody will teach you that you're not good enough, or you're broken, or you need to balance your mind and body. How about like you're good? As long as you're alive, you're good. And he said, like, this $1 trillion industry will teach you that you're not, but he said, I will challenge the person who wants you to balance the mind and the body, may know one of those parts, because they still don't know to prove where the thoughts sit, frontal lobe, left ear, or down below. So how person, like, maybe few persons know to know where the thought located. This person, if he's a top doctor that know every organ, can know to balance it. But like, they even don't ask you to balance the body and mind. They want you to incorporate mind, body, and spirit. And everybody has like different spiritual approaches. Like, imagine like the Jewish, the Christian, the Muslim, they have different approach to the spirit, how they digest. So when he proved, he said, like, most of us are good. We're here, we're good. It's just like you need to have like 6 human field that you get feedback, and through that you can get more honest version of yourself. So the one of them, like the mental presence that he taught me, by the way, each field has a mantra. And he said, the mental presence mantra would be, is it true or is it story? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's, okay, you tell me, like, you go to club, meet the clients. Can you go like next 10 times and see like how you meet clients? And to answer if it's true you're finding all your clients in the club, or it's a story. After 5th, I'm like, man, it's a story. I know how to get more business. You just need to organize the database, knowledge of the product, and connect the two. This is like simple as that. So through my mental presence, I observe no people in the couch can tell me in the honest me, when you lay on the couch, that the honest you happy to be there, laying a potato and desire nothing, and consume Kenya West, loving the Jews, not loving the Jews, and all the jokes around, and the burning of the easy shoes. This is like, and on the other hand, I expose myself to people and I challenge and ask them, like, hey man, like, you already like have such a big organization, Jules Trump, Aqualina, like I sell Esteza Aqualina. The guy is almost 80 years old. I'm like, oh my God, what a project. Like, good piece to have your legacy associated with. It's like one of a kind, the best. All the people want. LeBron bought there, billionaires buying them. He looks at me, he's like, Daniel, I'm just starting. Can you find me a nice piece of land to build something special that I can like talk about this legacy that you're talking about? So like, the guy have 3,000 people. He knows most of them by name. He doesn't want to talk about his legacy at 80 years old. He's looking for the next piece. So like, the energy is like infectious. So like, the guy on the couch that tell me that he's enjoying to see like how they burn easy, versus this guy who's like, let's go. I'm sure not only me, baby, the kids, every normal person who here will somehow will feel, even from me talking, that they would like to be with the guy who's like searching for the next thing that he can implement his knowledge of building, implement his knowledge of architecture, implement his all what he learned in the last 80 years to implement and give it for the humanity. He doesn't need the money.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So you're saying we can increase our desire, but thinking about other people. When we think about other people, we
actually the cycle. I created little dreams and I try not to achieve them. I achieve the dream, what's there. Now I can tell you clearly, I had the privilege to meet Shimon Peres' son. And I asked him like, Hani, does your father had any regrets? The guy had like 80 years career, political career. He's 92, died in 92. From 12, he is a politician. 80 years. You know how many times in 80 years when they have stable government? At least 20 times he went. And he was a president, prime minister. So I'm like, hey, how many regrets your father had? Do you know how much? Can you guess how many?
I guess you're going to say none.
Most of us will say none. No regrets. I know what I'm doing. You know what the guy said? 2. I'm like, in 80 years, only 2. Like every 40 years, like to get out of the desert 40 years. So twice every 40 years, he said, I had a regret. Like I tried to find like how he came with 2. He said, I said, do you know them? Can you share? He said, absolutely yes. And I'm like, okay, go. My father said, when they were bringing something to Israel special from the, Kuragarini, like from France, collaboration. He said he gets so busy because in 90 days he had a project that he need to understand nuclear, the psychologists, the psychiatrists, the engineers, everybody, like to put this, like none of the people separately knew what's going on. He needed to know all the picture. And he said, in days like that, he had a regret that it was so busy that he forgot to dream. That he passed the day just a normal day, and he forgot to desire or to dream, like call it a desire. He forgot to desire because he get consumed by the activity. I'm like, holy shit. It's understandable. He said for him it was not understandable. He couldn't miss a day with desire and dreaming. And I'm like, wow. I don't want to ask for the second one. Like it was so deep. I'm like, okay, but you said 2. Like give me the second one. He said, second one, the day that he didn't forget to dream, he realized backward that he never dreamed big enough. He never desired enough.
Wow.
And I'm like, shit, thank you for sharing. And then you ask yourself, you sit there now in Israel, am I dreaming constant? Am I desiring constant? And I'm desiring big enough. Huh?
Wow.
It's different.
So this is, I believe that you dream and desire big, and I know how hard you're working to achieve your connection to people and your business. And but dream and desire, I have to agree with you. It's not something that has an end. And people who have that gift as a manna from heaven, if they get it as a gift from above, because you have to receive it as a gift that you're dreaming all the time and desire. Because people who don't dream, who have no dream and no desire, they die also dreaming. With I wish I could, I would, but people need to die with memories. The secret is to die with memory. When a person goes to the grave, he has 1,000 memory because he dream enough and desire enough. And I would like to ask you, do you remember the first time you make?
Can I give a grave quote to be like to look smart on the camera?
Yeah, please.
I will try. But they said the tragedy of life, it's not dying or the death. It's what you allow to die while you're alive. So like I tried not to have fear, false evidence appear real, like, the acronym of fear. But this is like what I'm allowing to die while I'm alive. If I'm asking this question in the morning and I ask myself in the end, it's not inspiring. It's scary to ask yourself this question. Sometimes I'm like, try to erase it from my lexicon is like.
But some people get motivated not by inspiration. A lot of people get motivated by desperation. There is two types of people. Some people get motivated through desperation, and some people get through inspiration. You know, you can get inspired, or you can get to a situation where you need to survive. You know, the gift that God is giving us, it's either from above to below or below to above. From above to below is inspiration. Below to above, what the Kabbalists call, it's desperation. Actually, desperation lasts stronger. It's actually the strongest coming from the human. When things coming from above, they give. Somebody who's able to speak, public speaker, strong people, athletic. This is a gift. What you're going to do with them and how long they're going to last, that's up to you. And how you keep the desire. But I want to ask you that. Do you remember the first time you make a big amount of money and you kind of look at yourself and say, Daniel, man, you made it today. This is the day. I don't know if you remember that day, and tell us, what did you do before? What did you do while? And what did you do after? Past, present, and future. We want to know, what was the moment before? Let's say 1 hour before you cut the deal, while you're cutting a deal, and how do you celebrate after? It's a very important question, because that's kind of helping us to understand the process of your mind.
I have an answer for that, and I think it will be the most beautiful thing for me in this camera. So sorry for the audience, but like, it's a beautiful point that you touch, and I will go through the personal story. I don't think anybody will find valuable, but like, you asked me the question, I will share, and maybe you will find how
we do.
But
we all gonna find it very
when
important story.
When I was 11, I came to the Israel. So I went officer academy. I did some Navy, and everybody through the social media and everything already have the American dream of 1 million. So I said, like, God, like, since I'm in military since 19 to 22, like, I'm coming out, like, going to study, maybe go to America. I want to achieve million by age of 30. So in my birthday on April 11, 2010, I'm sitting with my mom, and my sister happened to visit, and the gentleman who I'm doing the deal, named Ayman Sabi. In April 11, I said, we signed the deal. And he said, we just signed, but we have 15 days rescission period. He said, do you know that the deal equate for my dream financial? He said, I don't know, but like, I'm happy for you. Like, but can I share with you something that I have to share with you? You keep talking about your Palestinian Lebanese identity. I've been learned in where I grew up that like, this is my enemy from the north and from the south. I have you to disclose, like, I know that I look Russian. I know that you think I'm Russian, but I need you to know that. And he said something beautiful. I remember he said, Daniel, we're here in the States, and I don't judge you based on your background. I judge you by the character. And here you pass your exam. You're a good guy. You're a good character. And I'm happy for you that it's happening for you. But if one day you find appropriate, share it. That some Palestinian Lebanese gentleman give you the start. Like, I will. So here we have the beginning of the story, the middle, and now the other part, how you celebrate.
How do you celebrate? Yeah, did you celebrate after?
How I pay back for this gentleman. And unfortunately, not inspiration. The inspiration came into 5 years in our relationship, because I stayed in a relationship with my client for the entire life. Most of my client, 9 out of 10, I stay with them for lifetime relationship. It's not easy. It's not only gifts out of it. It's challenging, but this is how, like, you want to take memories for the grave. I take my relationship with the client that direction. Somehow in the next 5-6 years, we were in good relationship, trying to do something else. The deal closed, by the way. He didn't pull out. he has 4 sisters, and one of the sister had 2 children, but one set of children are twins. And one of the twins, Farouk, was so good in soccer that they sent him to Europe to play. You know, in America, level of soccer is not that high. So he went for Europe. And unfortunately, when he scored the goal, he went to visit girlfriend in Czechoslovakia, and he died in a hotel from carbon oxide. In Europe, they have this system, and he choked from gas. The girl survived, and he died. And this is create devastation because Ayman has no kids, and this Farouk guy is his son. And I don't know like how to help. He's like going dark, and they're wearing a black Farouk wristbands, and like for 2 years, like I don't know, like difficult to communicate with him. But in that period of time, I get involved in an organization that saves life. It's called United Hatzalah, and they save life. Doesn't matter for your background. The headquarters in Jerusalem, and they have 6,000 volunteer, Muslim, Christian, one mission, save others' life. So like I went for an event. I get to speak to the founder. I said, listen, I cannot help much financially, but I can bring people that can help you. I got involved. Long story short, few years ago, I made a little bit money. I called the founder. I said, I want to buy an ambulance to Jerusalem in memory of this Farouk. Wow. And this is where the healing began in the family. So there's an ambulance dedicated for Farouk, who was love mankind, based on Ayman's story. And this is how I celebrated. This was like I took my mom to Israel. We went for Jerusalem. And I sent video for Ayman and for mother of the boy of Farouk. And this is how I celebrated 10 years later.
Wow. So the main idea is giving back was actually the celebration, which is amazing for me. I mean, that's a great lesson, totally manna from heaven, totally a sharing of God, that instead of judging each other, the business, and you, I mean, unfortunately, you went through something which is not easy, but it is whatever it is. And I would like to ask you a few more questions. I know our time is up, but because we're going to edit later on, so I want to make sure there is more question on that and squeeze the lemon a little bit more. Can you share what was your biggest disappointment in business, and what did you learn from that?
I'm disappointed that I saw in people good, and I built a story around they good, that they even better than I think, and they created not the result that I anticipated, and they harm my family, and I take it personally because all my business is personally, and I take it personally that I give myself time, I give myself money, I give from my family like trust in those people, and they created disaster result for the family. But I keep believe that the majority of people are good. With this disappointment, I have struggled to deal with because I need to learn from that. So if I learn, I should cut people and not get closer to my life, because most likely there's going to be that result. But I keep talking like to the heaven's door. I'm like, please send better people. And by the way, I feel better people start coming to my life through my prayers, commitment, to my observations, through my study. Way better people coming. I can give you an example from last night, like a guy who wrote many movies. I met him in the building. I meet people that like the set of family values, like I have a lot to learn from them, like more kids and more like, so something good happening for me. But the disappointment and people, and I didn't reach the level that you teach me to forgive them because I'm carrying the toxins, even to bring it to this camera. But more or less, when I talk, I don't even recall their faces and their names. I just talking about something obstruction that such a people exist. I need to be more paying attention and to have more written agreement maybe, and to have barrier to protect, because now it's me, because from the past I said, let's observe everyone who is shit, who is not, and shit would come and pleasant people would come. And I said, okay, good people, good. But with your infinite intelligence of God, infinite intelligence, backward, when you look on all this shit, if you open your eyes, there's such a great lessons there. And maybe this gentleman who is like succeeding a little bit more now is because of those shit. Like they put me into failure.
Yeah.
I came out of failure a little bit better. But not a lot of people can get out of quotes. Like you read the Muhammad Ali. It's not how many times you punch, it's how many times you get punched. You lay down and you come up. Okay, cool. You know how to come up. Like somebody punch you in the face after first time, you're like afraid to stand up. Somebody after second time, I'm like, how many more I can digest until I'm like, fuck, that's it. Sorry, I cannot do it. I think in my case, I already get such a hard punches. There is no harder punches can come, God willing. I don't want like.
I don't think. But the lesson you're teaching us here is that from the disappointment, first you start to appreciate the right people who come into your life.
A lot.
Second,
appreciation.
Your eyes, your senses become better to know the difference between good and bad, which I think is a great gift that God is giving us with manna from heaven. And I want to ask you a question which is a little bit off. Do you believe to be successful in your business or in your life? Do you need, beside your business and family or eating food and go to sleep, do you need to develop some type of hobby? Let's say, I don't know, playing backgammon or playing basketball. Is a hobby adding into a human life in success, or is just a stress releaser?
It's a must. Sorry that I had to bring this mental presence story, but from the same guy, because I'm practicing the ice Monday and Wednesday. The other field that he taught me that you have to practice in order to have your honest you, to know better the honest you, it's fun. And I'm like, fun, it's easy. Like, he's like, do you know what's fun is about? I'm like, fun is fun. He's like, no, fun has different levels of fun. I'm like, which one? He's like, first level of fun is the lowest, distraction. Have you been to Instagram today? Oh yeah. He said, okay, like a lot of people been there. This is fun. There's like, Instagram is not because of the name of the logo, the pink logo, be successful, because it's fun to get distracted, to jump on like content, to look again like TV, like to see some Kenya stories or like Biden falling from the plane for the 100th. It's fun. But he said like there is a little bit better quality of fun. I'm like, which one? It's like educational. You go study with Eliyahu. It's a lot of fun. Like education. He teach you how you can like. He ask you question, then he explain you what you were verbalizing, because you're just verbalizing from what you know. But he explain you what's the lesson that you probably got. So this is a way better fun. Like I love the second, like try no distraction, try no Instagram, start to learn more. But he said the highest level is recreation. It's when you recreate yourself. And he said, I think in your case, paddle does for you the recreation. I'm like, I think so. He said, can you describe what's happening to you? I'm like, I go for this cage, I take the ball, I hit it, and I'm thinking how I catch the next one. And I'm not thinking about the deal, the deposit, the due diligence, the bank, the bank. I'm thinking about how I return the ball. And he said, this is for sure recreational, and your homework to keep doing it. So I think such a recreation, such a fun, such a hobby, it's a must to be, because it's where you experience yourself a little bit in a different dimension.
Beautiful, beautiful. I really enjoy that, because recreation, when I meet successful people, you know, they are like that. You're right. They always recreate themselves from scratch. They restart everything. And I know it. I know it about you. I know it about a lot of people that they restart everything. And I think that your manna from heaven, for me, knowing you, is that you stay positive and believe that tomorrow will be a good day. No matter what you're going through, no matter what happened to you, as I know you for many years, you just
It's a conscious
keep
effort,
pushing forward.
but it's a
Yeah,
conscious effort.
you
It's not.
you actually believe that tomorrow will be a good day. I saw you in many tough situations, and I saw you how you're getting out of it. It's almost like you don't let negativity affect you. You know it's negative now, but you know tomorrow morning it's going to be different. So this is a gift. This is just a gift.
I don't
I
know.
believe that.
I don't know why God was so generous, but when I came to the States and I said, it's my second immigration, it's my big challenge because there is no money there to help. And I need to find like creativity for my situation. So I said, like, any hint, now there is new language in front of me. How I learn all these 10,000 words. And somehow, I don't know to reverse engineering. He said, when you have two words, inspiration and desperation, try to remember the inspiration. And this is by already half of the language you don't need to worry about. So when I had scarcity and abundance, you know which one I chose. And I think the language creates a thought led for action. So I verbalized, I thought, and I went through the action of, like you said, positivity. I aim to positive end of the. I wanted to see the positive in
Yeah.
the tunnel, the light of positivity.
And I'm definitely witness you doing it in so many times. So first, God bless you, and thank you for being with us on Manna from Heaven.